Hello, and welcome to our third and final day of the Business Without Burnout. I want to call it boot camp, but it's a workshop. It's a workshop. It's not a boot camp because boot camps are scary. We don't like boot camps. We want a workshop. We want to know what to do, right? That's why you're here. So, welcome to day three. We are going to solve the missing puzzle piece that you need to grow your business without burnout. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's go back and talk a little bit about what we've covered so far. So yesterday we set a boundary. I had you set one boundary for yourself. And I'm curious to know, how did that go? Now, I know I said you could do it sometime this week, but I really want to know what your thoughts were around the last 24 hours because now that it's top of mind for you, what happened after that? Do you notice that you're protecting your time more? Are things coming up where you're like, "Oh, I could do a lot better job of that." And maybe it was I set the boundary and then it went out the window. Listen, I spent far too much time scrolling TikTok yesterday and I knew that, okay? You're not alone in this because most of us will set a goal or a boundary and then we don't follow through with it within the 24 hours. And it's not because we don't want to, and it's not because you don't care about it, but it is the reason why we get stuck because this is what we're talking about today. Because you are ambitious, you are motivated, you are genuinely committed to building your business. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. You wouldn't. And it's frustrating when you set a goal or set a boundary or have these priorities and yet they're not getting done, right? It's so frustrated. So frustrating, okay? But here's something that I don't think really a lot of people are talking about, and I wish more people were, because I have the belief that you can have the best framework out there. You can grab somebody's amazing $1 million offer out there. They just launched a, $1 million, they just had $1 million launch. It must be so good, right? That many people took action on it and are getting results from it. You might have the best goal on the planet. Like you're so clear on your goal. You have the direction because you created the plan. You might even have the best boundaries set. You went and bought that brick because you knew like that's what you were going to need. And I always told you, I'm a kinesthetic learner. My brick is on my refrigerator. Okay. But again, how often do you get the best strategy, or you have the best coach, or maybe not the best coach, but you have this new strategy, this new course, you have this goal, you have this boundary, and you think this is it, this is the thing, it's going to change everything for me, this is the thing that is going to change the trajectory, that is hard for me to say, trajectory for your business. And then a month later everything's changed. Maybe life happened, or maybe, like most of us, you forgot about the goal. You opened the course a couple times, never went back to it. You set the boundary. It lasted maybe a week, and then you stopped. Okay? This is the thing that most coaches out there aren't telling you because they are selling you strategy. Okay? I have a feeling you don't have a strategy problem. Now, if you are new to business, yes, you have to have some strategy. I highly recommend getting into some kind of course or have some kind of coach that helps you know exactly what you need to grow a business. If you are just starting out, you have to have some strategy if you don't. But most of us, or a lot of us, are probably been in business and we're feeling stuck and we're feeling burnt out. We're trying to grab the next new best thing. But what you have isn't a strategy problem. You have all the strategy. I promise you. I promise you. I have all the strategy that I could ever need. Now, there are different things that I want to learn, but what it comes down to is not the strategy that is keeping you stuck. It is the follow through that is keeping you stuck. You have a follow through problem. And we talked on day one about how it's not a time management problem that you are lacking. You don't have, I promise you do not have a time management problem, because I have a feeling you have a planner, you have a family calendar, you have all the things to help you manage your time well. You just were struggling with priorities. Okay, cool. We worked on that. We created the priorities. Yes, we got the priorities in there. Now you have them, but are you actually focusing on them? Okay. This is where a lot of my SYS support clients get stuck, because they're like, yeah, I have the priorities. And I'm like, okay, let's do them. And then we like feel like we have a time management problem. I promise you, you don't. It's a follow through problem. Okay. You need a way to stay accountable to following through on those priorities. What if you knew exactly what to focus on every single day? Because you already have the strategy. You're like, yeah, I got it. I know my goals. I created the plan, Kristen. I did it. I have the priorities that I need. Awesome. I have set some boundaries, but it's still not working because you don't have someone to hold you accountable. Okay. And this is something that I still need. I am in a mastermind. One of us usually messages us. We just use Voxer. One of us just messages us at the beginning of the week, like, hey, what are we focusing on this week? Okay. It makes a huge difference, because once you name it, you are more likely to follow through. Okay. Suddenly it's not just in your head anymore. It has some weight behind it. It has some commitment behind it, because when someone comes back to you and say, hey, how's that going? Like, think about this as like you hire a personal trainer. And listen, I have hired a nutrition coach in the past. I have 3 degrees in exercise science, three. I know nutrition like the back of my hand. I can tell you exactly how many calories are in an apple. Okay. I know these things. Like, I know nutrition very well. Okay. I know what to do, but I didn't have anybody keeping me accountable to actually hit my goals. So I hired a nutrition coach because they would keep me accountable for those goals. Okay. You can have all the strategy in the world, and without somebody to keep you accountable, and you just aren't going to follow through. Okay. It is hard to follow through on your own. You need some support. Okay. You need someone there to give you, and it's not a weakness. It's not a weakness to have that. This is why we hire coaches. We hire people to help us where we're feeling stuck. And if you have done courses after courses after courses and you're not getting them done, or you're not seeing a difference, it's because you need the accountability. Okay. That is what is going to create the follow through in your business. And so that is exactly why I created SYS support, because that is what I saw most entrepreneurs needed. SYS support is my membership that is accountability and coaching, where you can take everything that we've talked about over the last 3 days and actually implement it into your business. We are implementing, I am keeping you accountable for that. This is not a course. Yes, there is a training library. Yes, there are things in it, but most of the time I'm like, you probably don't even need that. Okay. It is a place where if you need something from that, it is a library. It is not a course. So if you need something for that, I can point you there, like, hey, this might help you a lot to look at, but you don't need to go through it start to finish. Okay. So you'll have access to it as long as you're a member. So you can do whatever you want with it. Okay. This is an opportunity for you to show up, to help you get focused, and to have someone on your team to make sure that you are getting the right things done every single week. Okay. That you are focused on those income producing activities, so you are seeing your business grow. Okay. So here is exactly what is inside SYS support. You get the SYS training library. So it goes through my method of plan, prioritize, protect. So it's going to have all of the things in there for those things, like how to, like, we do a live profit planning challenge every single quarter, but that is always in there. So when you get in there, you can go through there and set your goals. Then you know what to do, how to plan your month, how to plan your week, how to plan your day. We talk about how to prioritize, but not just the priorities, but like your values. Okay. Those are really important. What are your values around those? We look at the priorities and how to make that happen. Then there's a whole, I don't want to call a module, but there's a whole section on protecting your time. We talked about this yesterday, creating your boundaries, creating weekly rhythms. What else do I have in there? How to outsource. Okay. That's actually in like an extra section called scale, but creating systems, delegating, all the things around that, everything that you would need to help you not stay organized in your business, but really manage your entire business in a system that works and frees up your time. There are always tools and templates and client examples and all the things that you could ever want in there, but it's a resource. It is not the end all be all. The thing that most people come for is not the library. They come for the accountability. Okay. So in SYS support as a member, you get 2 monthly Q&A calls every single month. This is where you can get on, tell me what you're working on, and I help you figure out what the next right steps are for that. Okay. You can ask me any questions that you want. I might give you some strategy advice. We talk a lot about mindset. I'll be honest. I am not a therapist, but I am a life coach. And so I'm going to tell you exactly what I think you should do. Now, you can, just like this, you can choose to do whatever you want with this information that I'm giving you. My goal is to help you stay on track. My goal is to make sure that you don't get like next shiny object syndrome where you're looking for the next best thing. Like, this isn't working, so I'm going to do this. No, we are taking people from like, I have this idea to like, all right, we need to like, let's launch this. This is what you need to do. Or when things come up, I've had people who are like, I've been in the hospital for 3 weeks. I'm like, okay, well, let's take a step back because right now we got to do something else. Or, hey, I had this like amazing client proposal come up that is, I think I need to push my launch back. I'm like, you absolutely need to push your launch back. Like, we're going to go through that. So you can like brain dump all the things on me and I'm going to say like, yeah, I agree with you. Or no, I think you should do this. I don't typically say no, but I'm going to say like, yeah, I can understand where you're coming from. Here's my opinion on it. Okay. It's a lot like this. I want to be your like cool big sister, auntie, whatever. And then every week we do accountability check-in. So you get an email on Friday with a form to fill out that asks you what your goals are for the month, what your priorities are, and are everything aligned with them? And then you can ask for me to check in with you. When would you like me to check in with you? I literally give you like a day of the week. If we have a call that week, you can just say, we'll just check in on the call. No big deal. So I sent a huge email today to one of my clients and it wasn't even about like, here are my goals. It was more like, hey, I feel like I'm missing out on all these things. And so I wrote back this giant email to her like, hey, this is what I want you to focus on. And we like went through a bunch of mindset things with it because that is what you need. You need someone who is going to like hold your hand when it comes to it and tell you like, okay, here's what I think we can do. Like if we're feeling stuck, like this is what you need to move forward. Okay. And here's what I want you to really know and understand about SYS support. Like this, I don't ever want this to be like you're just another name on the list. Like I like to know my members. I like to know their goals. I like to know their businesses. I like to know what they're working on. I typically, right now we're a smaller group, but I typically have almost 100% show up rate on these calls. Not on the weekly check-ins, but on the calls, I almost have 100% show up rate on these calls. So everybody's getting their questions answered, okay? I want to make sure that you are making progress in your business, okay? Because you can Google strategy, you can ask AI to make a plan for you. Like those are all things that are readily available to you, but Claude and ChatGPT, they're not gonna keep you accountable, okay? You cannot get accountability from a search bar, okay? You cannot get accountability from a chatbot. Or follow through from a chatbot. You just can't get that. And that's what SYS support you. That's what SYS support gives you that you're not going to get from another course. Okay. So there are 2 ways to join us. Okay. We have a quarterly option. It is typically $127 per quarter. But because you are signed up for the workshop, you can get it for just $97 per quarter. So it's less than $30 something per month essentially, but you're getting it, we'll talk about it in a minute, $97 per quarter. So you get 3 months of full access. So these are my most committed people. They're like, yep, I'm in it for 3 months. I want to see what 3 months of a difference can make. You can cancel at any time before that 3-month mark if you decide to not continue after that. You also get, I was going to get one out, but you also get a planner shipped to your door every single quarter. And some little surprise bonuses when you stay as a member. But this is for someone who is ready and committed, like you are ready, like I need help. I want to see the biggest difference in the next 3 months. Okay. So $97 per quarter for the quarterly option, but there is also a monthly option. Okay. It is $37 a month. So the quarterly, you save a little bit of money overall, but $37 a month, again, cancel anytime. But also, typically I don't send planners to my monthly option people, but when you join by Friday, I will also send you a planner. Okay. I think that you will like it. We've talked about everything basically in the planner. So again, I don't have any more of this cover. This one is sold out, but I have some other ones that you'll get, and they're awesome. I dropped my pen on the floor. But this is how you're going to get access. Literally, if you sign up today, we have a Q&A call tomorrow that you can be on. And then your first weekly check-in is on Friday. That is what can happen if you sign up today. Okay. But you will have the support and accountability that you need to grow your business. Okay. I will make sure that that is linked in the comments, but also you will get an email with this as well. So make sure that you look for your email. So I want to give you, because I know I've talked about a lot about SYS support. Feel free to ask me any questions that you have. If you'd rather keep them between me and you, just send me an email, hello@kristenvanhorn.com. But what I want you to do, I want to do like a little mini accountability sprint. Okay. I want you to tell me what is one thing that you can get done before Friday that is going to make the biggest difference in your business. So we already talked about those IPAs, those income producing activities. What is the one thing that you can get done before Friday? What is your plan to make that happen? And what days and times are you working on? Are you going to be working on it? So I know we're halfway through the week. It's Wednesday. So you have 3 days. What can you get done by Friday that's going to make the biggest difference? Okay. I want to help keep you accountable with that. So again, if you can put it in the comments below this video, you can send me an email, hello@kristenvanhorn.com. I'm the only one checking that. So you're getting me. You're just getting me. I just want to give you that support and accountability. Okay. And I want you to see what it's like to have that support and accountability from me. But I would also love to be able to continue to support you over the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months. Okay. I'm so excited for you. I really hope that this opened your eyes to some of the things that might be missing in your business currently. Maybe a few things that can help you really make sure that you're focused on the right things in your business. But I would also love to support you and continue to be in your corner.